Okay, so now let's come to our main topic of discussion. So, Joshua, the IoT Network Hub decided to find solutions using the emerging technologies to this COVID-19 problem. Can you tell us a bit more about what you have done? And please, anybody can feel free to ask him questions during his explanation.
All right. So on March 14th, we had an idea to start an initiative called AfricaNEV. So AfricaNEV was basically a research and development community which was born out of IOT Network Hub. And our mission or objective was to explore or use this knowledge or emerging technologies to solve the COVID-19 problem. So we're looking at 5 areas. Early detection. I hope you can hear me, right?
You can hear you clearly.
Yeah, so we're looking at early detection, early warning, tracking and monitoring, preventive measures, cure, and vaccine. So these are the 5 main areas we were looking at. So we spent 2 weeks doing intensive research. And after the 2 weeks, we came with a couple of ideas. So the solutions we came up with included an automated or touchless solution. Well, we noticed that in the medium or
I talking about the hand washing containers.
Yeah, the touchless solution. So the touchless solution, we came up with the touchless washing tabs for both sanitizers, water, and the liquid soaps. So the idea of that solution had to do with the fact of touching surfaces, since the virus could stay on surfaces for a number of days.
Yeah.
And you see all the interventions that were on the market, you need to open the tap, wash your hand. After cleaning your hand, you need to touch the tap again. So if the tap is infected and you touch it, you wash it off, you go touch it back again. So we saw that if we can make them touchless.
So basically, you put your hands on the tap.
Exactly, just put your hands beneath it. A sensor sends your hand. The water flows for 20 seconds. You wash it off. Then you take off your hand. You don't touch anything. Then you go.
I think some washrooms have this.
Yeah, when you go to the 5-star hotels, you see them there.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a technology that is not new, but bring it to the downstream or to the low level is something that in the country hasn't been done yet. So
was it expensive? Can Aluora, for example, import some at a cheap cost?
Well, you see, all this initiative came whilst we were under lockdown.
Okay.
So having access to resources was quite challenging because we couldn't import anything from China. We couldn't buy components from China. So buying them or sourcing them locally was quite expensive. So it cost not less than $25 to build that.
Wow.
But if we have had enough access, like buying from outside or China and in larger quantity, we could scale it down to like $10.
I'm talking about the sensors. Is it a sensor that's making it expensive that you have to buy from China, or
okay? So there are three main components or major components that constitute the technology. So we have a submersive water pump, we have a sensor, then we have a battery, a 12-volt battery. So this battery put together powers it. The rest is just our circuit design and our programming. But these are the 3 main components that are quite expensive on our market here. So the pump is going for between 50 to 60 cedis, which is probably $10 locally. Okay. $10. Sensor could be somewhere 30 cedis, something around $6. Then battery too should be probably 10 cedis or $2 or $3. So approximately we're looking between $20 to $25 for the material. Okay. And if we were buying them outside and in bulk, then we could scale the cost. You know, economy of scale also affects product development, product cost today. So building just a single unit in Ghana cedis, we could only sell for like 200 cedis, something around $40 for the whole unit.
And how long does it take to make one?
Well, it took us, okay, so it took us about 3 days to build one. For the first time, but we need to do a lot of experimentation. But today you have to start to build one. It could take us some few hours, like 2-3 hours. We also printed a casing for the packaging, whole packaging. So maximally 3 hours, we should be able to produce a unit. That's per staff. So you have like 5 or 10 engineers, and each producing a unit in every 3 hours. We could do a lot.
What are the other solutions apart from the touchless?
Yeah, so we also came out with the 3D printed reusable face masks.
Can we see some of this as you're talking?
Okay, let me see.
Seeing is
if I can
believing.
draw some pictures. That's right. But the videos are on YouTube.
Okay.
So
what I'll do is I
will
will link to the videos below for our audience so that they can go there and watch, or maybe some I will even integrate it into the video.
Okay.
So maybe you have pictures. You have pictures. You can share your screen. That we can see pictures.
Sure. For pictures, I can even send them here.
Okay.
I've sent one. I don't know if you can see it.
It's coming out. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay.
So this whole unit is selling for $40 because it was quite expensive to build just a single unit. Yeah. Okay. So
but
I don't know if we can.
Is it because the problem is urgent and it is so it is increasing?
All right.
Okay. There's urgency. So
okay.
Is your plan to produce all this yourself, or is there a plan to sort of maybe export the license, make it license the technology so that people can duplicate it? Because Aluora can get the people in Lube, for example, to do something. Somebody in Cameroon can do something. Olukokun can do something with this. Is that a plan, or you plan on producing it yourself at
the
rate of one for every 3 hours?
Nah, so it's a community project.
Okay.
Yeah, so the objective is not even to produce ourselves, but to be able to use technology to solve a problem. Now the problem, or there's a proof of concept that this technology, this solution solves problem. So what is left is how do we scale it up? And that's why over the past days, I've been trying to talk to the media. We had a couple of interviews with the top TV and radio firm in the country, just to make sure we can get some interested person in interest, like the government or organization or rich folks who want to support it. So as of now, we're still working on it. We have some people reaching out, people who want to invest, individuals, organizations, and some government entities. So we're still on talk. What we try to do as a community is not necessarily to make profit. And we have chapters too in other African countries. So we are open to share some of our resources, like some of our fundings or the research work and solutions with them so that they can also produce it to save lives over there. So not necessarily to protect it and own it and hold them, but we also want to share to some of our partners in the other African countries.
So we are looking at the picture of you.
Okay, so this is a face mask. It's a 3D printed. It has I will show the individual parts. It has the pieces that were printed and a filter. So you could use this mask for let's say forever, 3 to 6 months. And the filter too are replaceable. It's just a cotton cloth.
How long does it take to replace the filter?
Okay, so what we intend doing, we intend to sell each mask with 5 cloths or filter. So after using it, you just have to boil water, put it inside the boil water, leave it there for 3 minutes and then dry it. Then you can use it.
Oh, okay. So reusability is key. That's the innovation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So reusability is key, and then the fact that you see the masks on the market are molded together, the elastic and everything. It's not in pieces that you can take off each piece.
Yeah, like
recycle them, moisturize them, and use. But this one, it
This is a surgical mask.
It's assembled. This one is assembled. So you can personally assemble them and then wash the cloths or sterilize the cloths or the material. And then when you finish, you can put them back. So in the video, you see how I assembled one. I'm trying to get a picture which has all the pieces. Yeah, and that should help. So that is one of the solution. Another one is also the face shield. The face shield basically. Sorry?
How is that different from the mask?
The mask and the shield?
Yeah, how is the shield different from the mask?
Okay, so the mask protects you from breathing in and out the virus, especially when you come across victims. Okay. And then the shield protect face touching. So even though you might not even necessarily have to breathe in the virus, you might touch surfaces. And some of these surfaces might be contaminated, especially when you're working with the victims, especially those working in the healthcare center, or those who are working in public places where people are moving in and out. They always having surfaces they have to touch. And you know, research has proved that the average person will touch the face more than 100 times a day. So you might be tempted to put your hands in your mouth or nose, or you might sneeze, you want to cover your nose with your hands, and not knowing that your hands is contaminated, you could end up taking the virus to your nose. So the mask basically prevents face touching, and then also block all the fluid that are in the atmosphere. You remember the WHO came to say that the virus now are airborne. They can be hanging in the air, and we have to spray our cities. Yeah. So if you have that shield, it blocks all contacts of the fluid. You come into contact with the fluid. I think I'll find so I don't know if this can be seen well.
Aluora, do you have any question for him?
So this is the mask. We have 3 layers. We have the inner one, the one that holds the filter, the one that holds the elastic bag, and then the one that covers the face. So when you assemble them, you see what I showed earlier. And this is the picture of the face shield. So apart from face shield, we also notice that the prescribed masks on the markets, most of them, you have to hang them around your ears. And it's causing ears irritation. Like some people have ear problems.
Something like this. Like this is
yeah, something like that. How do you feel hanging it around your ears? Any pains?
Not particularly, because to be fair, this is elastic. This is elastic.
Okay. Okay.
What I didn't notice is that, you know, after a couple of hours, because of normal fluoride, you see that you begin to feel uncomfortable with this mask. These are surgical masks.
Yeah.
Masks.
So when you put it on for long, you begin to feel pain.
Okay.
So we are looking at not just some 5 minutes wearing of mask. Those who wear it the whole day, and they will have to wear it every day.
That must be uncomfortable.
So they start feeling pains in their ears. Some people also have ear problems, so they can't be hanging it at the ear.
Okay.
So we came out with the mask strap. I don't know if it's visible now. So it's also 3D printed. So it holds the elastic at your head, at your back, so that you don't have to hang the elastic on your ears.
So it's like a wraparound.
Yeah, so it's sort of a holder for the mask at your head, so that it frees your ears from hanging it from your ears. So that's also one of the innovation we came up with. I think, let me get you the shot.
But once we are doing that, how much is all this? The mask, for example.
Okay, so the mask, you know, usually we look at the cost for production. Me personally, that's my most priority. That at the end of the day, whatever produced, we should be able to take care of our production costs. So the mask is going for 40 cedis, and you only have to buy one. You don't have to buy again.
Oh, okay.
Like
40 cedis.
That's like $8.
Yeah.
$8.
8, 7, depending on the exchange rate.
Yeah, $7, $8. and you buy once, you don't buy again. You can use for like 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
And the shield, the one I have in my hand, yeah, is going for 30 cedis. So when you buy
cheaper than
one
a mask.
shield, yeah, because of the print, you know, the mask, the whole face-like thing was printed, 3D printed.
Okay.
So the cost of printing is quite expensive compared to the mask. The mask, we needed to print only the plastic frame. So the frame is what we printed. The shield was sourced from our local market. And when you get one of the frame, when you get one of the frame, you can get like 5 plastic sheets, which you can also recycle and use for a number of months before you decide to dispose them.
Okay.
So the last one, probably know this one. We also have the ventilator splitter, which it doesn't really solve a need at the moment. It's recommended during critical moments or extreme cases where we've run out of ventilators and there's no no solution out there. Then we can split one ventilator into 2 or 3 or 4 for 4 patients. So instead of a single one for single patients, we can have a single ventilator for 4 or more patients. So we came up with this filter, a ventilator splitter. I don't know if it's quite visible.
Okay.
Yeah. So the splitter
it's like a pipe head that you can split it into several
outlets.
Okay.
Yeah. So that too was 3D printed. And
but one thing is it all the examples you are giving. I'm very happy with all these solutions, but I keep coming back to skill. How we can quickly expand
there's a role. It's an ecosystem, right?
Okay.
Yeah, everybody has a role to play. The researchers are not the one responsible for commercializing what they produce. And that's what happened most of the time. So there should be a synergy between industry and researchers, where researchers do research, do experiments, come up with a product, then there's some need or some other entity ready to take it to production. Probably I might find my happiness or satisfaction when I build something cool. Well, I'm also an entrepreneur, so I don't just keep it there. That's why we're trying to push to get some attention, because under lockdown there's limited resources. Even the freedom to even walk around Christ is not easy. You can't just be walking around, and even not in teams. And even place to work under lockdown is also a challenge. So what we try to do is being able to utilize the little resources we have, little time we have, to be able to build something. Then when there's some ease of movement, ease of operation, or some intervention, then we can scale it out. For all the products, I think the washing bin, the automated one, is what I see potential beyond COVID-19. Because in our schools, in our private, our churches, schools, banks and places, offices, we do wash our hands. Even the public toilets that we've been using, there's all washing tabs. The hawking, the chop bars, all these places, restaurants, they all have washing. We'll be washing our hands. So we see business case in that space that even after COVID-19, we can take it further to be able to address those needs over there. But when it comes to the mass, the shield, currently we don't have much capacity, so we're producing for our friends and families.
Wow. Okay, Olukokun. The ball is in your court. Tell us a bit about your. Aluora, before you go to Olukokun, do you have any questions for Joshua?
So, if no question.
I'm guessing for me, I just want to know about the masks. Just to, thank you and congratulate you, because it's really a good initiative, huh? And the young people need to step up and provide solutions to their society. Not every time that we're going to wait for European made solutions. really encouraging what you're doing. So for the masks, you said they life cycle is for how long? How long can I use it?
6 months.
All right.
Even more than.
Thank you very much. So with the mask, it's a plastic and it's 3D printed. So you can use it to get spots, but it could last for 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
It could even go beyond that, depending on how you handle it. So it's a filter, you need to keep replacing it.
Did you have prospects of, you know, going commercial, and because we don't know what the situation will look like in a year from now. We may need it or we may not, but then definitely the hospitals may need it more than we do, I hope. So what are your projections for the next coming period of time?
All right, so we see post-COVID-19 to come with its own challenges. So the solution we have today were as a result of the problem we're facing today. So tomorrow's problem will have tomorrow's solution waiting for, or when tomorrow problems come, we'll have tomorrow's solution. Apart from the buckets, the shield, the masks, I don't see much of a need or demand going commercial. But when it comes to buckets, I can see every household after COVID-19, people will be consciously drawn to hygiene, good hygiene. So I think there will be a demand for the buckets, but for the shield and then the masks, not really much. But if it happens that there's still a demand and need for, we can still go into production.
Okay.
Yeah, Joshua, I mean, that's very fantastic. Before I go into whatever Dad wants me to talk about, I want to share some of your opinion. I mean, when you saw the ventilator, we had a chat on AfricaNEV and all of that. You remember?
That's right.
Okay, so when you were talking about the automated hand washer and the costs, I was going to talk about the volume, the volume of the container and all of that. Okay.
That's
and
right.
the technology you are using, because currently we are working on some of these things for my institution, and we're having them because it's an institution. We want it to be, at least the tank to be 25 liters and above. And I know the cost right now. And I still share your opinion that so many components are not locally available and you cannot even import. The courier services are working, but the time frame they give to you, my institution gave us 2 weeks to deliver. We have already spent about 3-4 days gathering components like that. And DHL is telling me that if I make an order, I will have to wait for between 9 to 25 days before I could get it. I mean, so most of these things are really making the cost go high right now. And again, I saw that you only have one nozzle, one tap out, because for us, we're having one tap for soap and another tap for water in the same container. In the same container.
I talking about liquid soap. I talking about liquid soap.
Liquid soap, definitely. Liquid soap, definitely. And I saw just one tap. Do you have the container for the soap inside that bucket separately?
Okay, so
this
is our first prototype, and this is just for the water, because we noticed that you could still touch the soap and wash everything away, but the water is a priority, because if you still have to get automated soap and have to touch the water with your hands, it still defeats the whole purpose of automating it. So we don't have the soap attached to this, but something that is still ongoing. The soap, because of the thickness of it, it requires a bit of a different approach. We can't use the same pump to pump soap. So we are trying different alternates.
There are some liquid soaps. There are some liquid soap that you can make use of actually. So anyway, I want to commend you. I mean, I love everything you are doing, and like Aluora said, it is in our duty as people. I mean, one of the reasons why I went to this is that many people may not die of the virus, but a lot will die of hunger and isolation. So what can we do as humans to support whoever that is having this thing so that we can quickly kick this thing out? So it's a collective effort. And one of my main concern is that 3D printing is not yet cheap. So we are talking about commercialization, mass production. We should look away from 3D printing right now. 3D printing for modeling and all of that makes sense. When going for mass production, you must look into another technology. Thank you, my brother. I love what you're doing. I love the initiative. And